Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve about to react to this vid by Honest. It's titled Meghan Trainor Flopped Hard. Damn. First Lizzo, now her. All right, let's see exactly what happened. Let's watch.
The year is 2014. All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor has completely taken over the airwaves. It was inescapable. A song she originally wrote for Beyonce became the catalyst for Meghan's own breakout moment.
No.
To many, her persona was refreshing.
Beyonce probably heard that and was like, no.
Sea of skinny pop stars and Barbie body standards. Here's a thicker girl who confidently sings about being proud of her assets. At barely 21, she became a central talking point of the body positivity movement, sold millions of records, and won many awards, including a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. At that point, she had all eyes on her. Fast forward to 2026, Meghan is struggling to sell her latest album. Her singles flopped on the charts, and her North American tour was canceled due to low sales. Her public persona has taken a nosedive, with people on social media mocking her drastic physical transformation and tiresome musical stagnancy. Meghan Trainor has always been musically gifted since she was young. She had her first album at 15 and actively worked as a songwriter. She co-wrote her breakout song All About That Bass with Kadish in just 45 minutes, and the rest is history. All About That Bass was inspired by Meghan's own experience dealing with body shaming and self-acceptance. The song was rejected multiple times by music executives for not sounding pop enough, which in hindsight was such a ridiculous notion. It eventually got a release in 2014. It became an instant hit, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for 8 straight weeks, selling 11 million copies worldwide, and launched Meghan into superstardom. The song became one of the defining songs of that year. Its quirky doo-wop sound felt like a breath of fresh air in a market saturated by EDM music, and it helped set her apart. More importantly, Meghan emerged as a one-of-a-kind pop star that, as the song lyrics goes, doesn't need to be a size 2 to break through. All About That Bass became an anthem and a representation for so many people. Because of the song's massive success, self-love and body positivity promptly became Meghan's defining image, and while this gave her career a major boost, it would eventually in some ways become her curse as well. After All About That Bass, Meghan released enough decent hits to sustain her momentum. Dear Future Husband, Lips Are Moving, Like I'm Gonna Lose You, Better When I'm Dancing, Marvin Gaye with Charlie Puth, and No are all certified hits, even if they never surpassed the height of her breakout single. Her solid track record was in large part thanks to her being tied to body positivity. It reflected heavily in her public persona. Billboard called her a model of self-acceptance for kids across the globe for embracing her curves. The Guardian called Trainor the poster girl for larger women and pop's emblem for self-acceptance. MTV stated she has always stood by what she believes in and attempted to promote body positivity for all women.
See, that becomes the problem when you start to surround your whole image around your body and then you lose weight. That's why it comes across fake.
She further reinforced
the poster child for larger women. What? Why would y'all put that label on her? And why would she accept it more than anything? I would be like, nah, but I get it. She was young. They said she started when she was 15 and she started to really take off when she was 21. So maybe she felt pressured into it and was like, all right. Or maybe she genuinely felt that way back then, but changed her mind. Who knows? But yeah, whatever the case, it does look hypocritical.
This image by partnering with plus-size retailer Full Beauty Brands to create a clothing line for women with varying body types. Things couldn't come at a more perfect time for Meghan. In the mid-2010s, people began to push back against model-thin body types and rallied around curvy figures instead. Celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj, Meghan Trainor, and even Adele and later Lizzo were central to this trend of embracing bodies that weren't thin. Whether she likes it or not, and as crass as it might be to say, Meghan's pop star image was deeply tied to her body. This is not unusual for female pop stars, but in Meghan's case, it was especially so because of the whole love your curve persona. Your breakout and biggest hit being about body image is not something that will be easy to shake. It set the precedent.
True.
This in some ways would put her in a box that she has struggled to evolve from. As her music's performance began to decline in the late 2010s, like every pop star before her, she must pivot. In 2022, Meghan emerged with a slightly more glamorous look to promote her new single Made You Look. The song did better than her other recent releases at the time, but it was also met with a growing backlash from people who felt she kept repeating the same formula. Her subsequent releases did not recover. Her 2026 album, Toy With Me, had everything that would easily catch on in 2015. Meghan's signature doo-wop sound, pin-up girl aesthetic, and the infusion of Zara Larsson-esque EDM beats. It barely made a blip on the charts. Adding insult to injury, her tour set to begin in the summer was completely canceled. Though Meghan cited family obligations as the reason, many suspected that it was far more pragmatic than that. The tour just didn't sell. As keen-eyed fans find out, she has become the latest victim of the Blue Dot Fever, referring to the symbol marking unsold seats on the Ticketmaster website.
Damn.
It seems that Meghan both stayed the same and underwent drastic changes at once. On one hand, her music barely evolved, relying on the same sound and beats that made her popular over a decade ago. On the other hand, she abandoned the curvy, confident girl persona that once set her apart. Her music should have evolved with time along with her brand. Meghan Trainor has a similar problem to people like Katy Perry and Lizzo, who are similarly known for their radio-friendly self-image.
Lizzo for sure, and that's why I find this case interesting. Even though I didn't listen to her at all, I know about her hit song, of course, but other than that, I wasn't keeping up with her music. But I do think the trajectory of her career is very interesting because her image was built around her body, and with her trying to change that, it, backfired. So, people may think, oh, it's because the music wasn't hitting, but I think a large part of it is because her body changed so much. But yeah, I feel like that might be the case also with Lizzo. And just people not liking her overall as much anymore and not really feeling compelled to check out her new music. And the music just not being that good, to be honest. All of that combined plays a role, but yeah, I just think their cases are so fascinating because they were just so like body positivity, I'm fat, accept me, this is me, bitch. And then it's like, actually, losing weight, skin tea, so it is interesting.
Empowerment anthems. Some of these anthems are great, but more so, the corporate slogans sold over generic pop beats marketed as empowerment just don't work as effectively in this cultural climate. And they've repeated the formula so much as if they have run out of ideas or are mining for a hit, instead of focusing on something that feels a little more authentic and less contrived. Meghan must replace that brand with something else that she hasn't been able to find. The one thing to define her unfortunately signifies her regression, with the same musical sounds and cadences. And in a world where Sabrina Carpenter is doing the 50s, 60s glamorous tributes to a much more efficient degree at this current point, whatever Meghan is attempting feels sterile. In Meghan's defense, it's not fair that a woman's value is defined by her weight. And we all know women in the media get unfair treatment in conversations about their bodies. But it is...
Because people do try to also, I guess, compare it to Adele as well and say, oh, will she continue to have a great career? A, Adele's music is iconic. And B, Adele, I don't feel like she surrounded her music around her body. All the songs I've heard. I haven't heard every single Adele song, so maybe she did for some songs, but overall that wasn't her thing. So I don't think her weight loss affected her as much because of that as well. Some people were mad, of course, and being weird, but overall it's like, well, bitch, I never said I was the poster child for fat bitches. So it's like, you can't be mad, but she's literally on the cover of a magazine where it says, oh, she's a poster child for larger women. Like, that's crazy. And then you get skinny, it's like, wait.
Acknowledging in Meghan's case, she made body positivity her defining image for so long. Her physical appearance has caused a lot of conversation, especially since she publicly admitted to using Mounjaro,
and
an Ozempic-like weight loss drug, a deeply controversial topic among the public. It should not be surprising that a woman in the public eye chooses to use a weight loss drug. And I don't even think it's something she should be criticized for. It's her body. But the evolution and juxtaposition within her branding is something worth taking note of, and how it's potentially affected her career.
Trying to get
the decline in her
her
public image coincides with the tide turning in the showbiz industry regarding body positivity. In recent times, Lizzo, Amy Schumer, Rebel Wilson, Mindy Kaling, once the groundbreaking celebrities of plus-size celebrities, all came out with thinner figures. Now, it could all be coincidental, but with the rise of Ozempic, it also reflects that the trend once again has swung towards skinny. Even the Kardashians have opted for less doctored looks in recent years, and we have seen wider trends such as the clean girl aesthetic sweep the internet. It's all very cyclical. And here's what the conversation around Meghan Trainor signifies to me. Where your image is inexplicably tied to a trend, you become vulnerable to its changing nature. In the celebrity world, especially that can make or break you, just as Meghan's rise all the way to her current ordeal shows. While examining the shift in body positivity in the cultural climate is interesting, I think Meghan Trainor's biggest problem is that her music has just not been interesting in a while. And I feel like her brand and music have become very TikTok-centric. She's made a million variations of All About That Bass and Dear Future Husband. That same gentrified doo-wop sound. She made her resurgence with TikTok, and songs like Made You Look. But I think there comes a point where a true pivot is needed to sustain interest. Not much, if anything, has truly changed within her branding or approach to music since she debuted.
Damn. Really interesting. Unfortunate that, she flopped, according to him, flopped. I don't know what her exact numbers were. I don't know how many copies she sold. Did he say? I don't think so. But yeah, having to cancel your tour and all that as well due to low ticket sales is unfortunate. But, she could have a comeback. I say this all the time. I don't think it's ever too late for anybody. If, any of these artists who are struggling, if they come out with a really big hit, it can really change their career and put them back on the up and up. It happens a lot. So, there's hope for her, but who knows? We will see what happens, I guess. But very interesting case. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.